Yes, people, what is going down? Let me get my tall glass of milk. I love a good glass of milk. I have done for years. Oh, it's nice actually. It's nice and refreshing. Right, what is going down, people? We are back with another live, and this is just a live to say that my next booking is just under a week away, and I've got a couple of other ups to just announce in the stream and stuff as well. But the main reason of the stream was just to remind you guys that I'm actually playing out at a gig next weekend. Well, I say next weekend, I say all being well because if you're following Boris and the news at the moment, you'll know that we're kind of going back into some darker times again. But all seems to be still good at the moment. But a lot can change in 6 days. A lot can change. So I am really going to. I don't want to jinx anything, but I most certainly like to keep an open eye so that there's definitely no room for disappointment. But let's hope it does go to plan and things do stay as they are for now, so we can actually get this booking out of the way because it is actually my final booking of the year. I haven't actually got another booking this year, not until next year. So this is the last one for me. So I wanted to make it a good one. So I'm hoping that it can obviously go ahead, keeping an open mind, but also not getting too overexcited, if that makes sense. Just so you aren't almost like disappointed of a letdown. If you sort of half expect a letdown, but hope there isn't one, you won't get as disappointed. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so next week I'm playing the Christmas Stomping. It's the final stomping of the year, and stomping have been just going from strength to strength. They've been putting some really decent nights on, and I was very lucky to play the last event, which I really enjoyed my set. It was my first time playing a hard house set in a nightclub. It was like a hard house stroke hard dance. And it went down really well. Like I say, I had a really fun time playing it, and I really sort of got into the genre because I've only ever really mixed hard house at home. Well, I've not really been playing in a club that long to have really been able to mix it, and I mixed a lot of hardcore. So when I started getting bookings, it was mainly for hardcore nights, and I was playing hardcore. But now I am just sort of, if you like, I'm just sort of dipping my toes into some other genres and getting some bookings where they're actually asking me to play a different set, a bit of bounce. I played some house music, and I love a lot of genres of music. There's not really many genres I won't dive into, like I will dive into most. Some of them I don't tend to dive into just because I've maybe not had the chance, or just because I still maybe feel a little bit uncomfy with that genre just because I've never fully really mixed it. I do hope to mix it, at some point. I know like hardstyle and reverse bass is something that I don't mix too often. I've mixed it before, but it's not something I've done like loads of. Trance is definitely something that I would like to dive into a bit more. I've mixed trance quite a lot of times, but I don't do it often enough, and I would like to get more into it. And I'd definitely like to dive into some like other sort of subgenres of trance, if you like, maybe a little bit of this sort of future trance and this sort of newer stuff, and this trance that has some really sort of nice euphoric drops into them, along with playing my love for the Kevin and Perry stuff. So, but yeah, so playing the stomping, the last one was just really wicked for me. I had an amazing time mixing some old like hard house tunes, some old like Andy Whitby and Club Filler stuff, and some BK, some other really wicked tunes as well, some Signum, and just some classics. So I got asked to play this next stomping. I was gonna play this next stomping anyway, but someone dropped out of the last stomping, which was, I just sort of filled in for him as like a last minute DJ. Um, but they asked me to play this next one, and they wanted me to play bounce, and I was quite happy with that, to be fair. But I will sort of be honest, I was a little bit sort of scratching my head and thinking like, what do I play? Like what set do I put together? Because I've only just started getting back into the bounce, and I was thinking like, what will sort of be good for the night, and what will sort of suit the theme. And then I actually got told, would I play hard house again? Would I do like a similar set to what I did last time? That they enjoyed it, so I was a bit like, do you know what? I actually will. And then I had a little bit of an idea as to what I wanted to do for this set, and I thought, well, they originally wanted me to play bounce, so why not still keep a little bit of some bounce elements into the set, but go with that hard house as well. So I've decided to go for this like hard house stroke hard dance with like a touch of bounce in it as well. So there's like some classic hard there. There's some of this like hard dance stuff, like some old Andy Whitby and Club Filler tunes from back in the old days of Awesome Records. And then it goes into a little bit of like hard bounce, and there's a few like tracks with some bounce elements in it. But they're all like, I've sort of tried to dive away from that sort of like commercially well known songs. So like a lot of the tunes are kind of like songs that you might remember, but they weren't like sort of like real popular. So like say like for example with bounce, like I didn't pick say for example Ozone Bounce. But what I did do is I picked some sort of other bounce tracks that wouldn't really be, I guess, as well known. I do start off with a well known hard house track, which is a remix of the Tidy Boys. It's a Tidy Boys remix, sorry, of Bits and Pieces. That's quite good. And then it goes into a tune called Ounce of Bounce, and it's like a hard house stroke hard dance tune with bounce elements in it. And the only way I can describe the tune is like it's like a dealer, but he's dealing like bounce instead of like drugs, and he's like explaining what kind of like bounce he's got, and it goes through these like different elements of different bounce music. So there's like scouse, classic bounce, hard style bounce. Um, it's quite a really good track actually. And then I go into some like classic hard dance stuff, but again the tunes aren't necessarily like the biggest well known tunes. Like you might remember them, but they're not like tunes that, say for example, you're not really part of that genre, you wouldn't know them. Like sometimes in every genre there's just like one tune that's just so big that even if you're not into that style of music, you've heard it at some point. A bit like for example like Rhythm of the Night from the 90s. Even people that weren't born in the 90s know that song, just because it's more or less on every 90s playlist, and even still gets played on like FM radio from time to time. So I've sort of gone for songs that I guess you have to be a bit more into the genre to know what the song is, to remember it. But there's some good trance remixes of well known songs. Um, but most certainly, like when I've gone into the bounce elements of the set, I have sort of tried to stay away from that sort of like bounce tunes that everybody would know instantly, and gone with something a little bit more different, a bit darker, a little bit harder, and just something that's a little different, really. So I'm looking forward to playing the set. It's probably one of the sets, probably the set that I've like planned the most out of anything I've ever done. Normally with me, when it comes to like normally doing like my hardcore nights, like if I'm with DNA and I'm mixing hardcore, usually I'll go through and I'll put a little set together, and I'll sort of pick out some tunes that I know I definitely want to play. But when it comes to the night, it does sort of normally just sort of mean, it's normally sort of me winging it, and I just end up like, because there's so many tunes I think, yeah, I want to play that, that I just end up cramming like a folder full of hardcore, and then I'll just select like what I want to play on the night. Um, but with this one, I thought I actually want to plan and put something together. So I was a little bit like, let's plan, let's put something together, and let's just see how it goes. And I've been working, I've been listening through, and if there's a track I'm thinking, that might doesn't sound too good, then I've taken it out, and I've for other tracks, I've browsed the web to see what songs are about, and just really sort of planned and put together like this sort of like good set. So it's got like bounce vibes, it's got trance vibes, it's got hard house and hard dance in it, and it's just a set that sort of goes from strength to strength. It sort of almost does get a little harder as it goes along, and it's just a set that it does take you on a journey. You start off with that sort of tidy boys classic sort of hard house, and then you sort of move into some more like Andy Whitby sort of hard dance stuff, which was just some banging stuff. And then, like I say, you've got these bounce elements. There's only one tune I think that is like I would call it a little bit more commercially, but I dropped it in because it had a trance vibe to it, but it was a mashup, and it's a mashup that, to be fair, I've been looking for years, and I heard it in a mix once, and when you hear a tune in a mix, and you actually did the remix or the mashup, and it's just something I'd never really sort of like looked up upon, and then literally I just came across it when I was searching through an artist, and it's a remix of DJ Jean, The Launch, but it's got the vocals to Dizzy Rascal Bonkers on it, and it's a little bit more of a bounce tune. It's a bit more donk bouncy as opposed to that like hard house hard bounce, but it fits it in the set, and the way Charleston Chaos has sort of like done the remix, it does fit quite well into like the set that I've got planned. As it's like the only sort of it's only like that one track that I'm dropping in that's kind of like sort of commercially, so it does sort of work. But it's a nice little bounce tune, and it's got a good donk to it. It's still got a few little like hard house elements in it. It's just got that sort of like commercially Dizzy Rascal vocal, but nevertheless, it sounds wicked. It does actually sound good. So I did sort of choose to throw it in and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. But like I say, it's the last gig of the year, so I wanted to make it a special one, and I'm looking forward to ripping it up, and hopefully we should have a good time. I'm hoping we have a good time. Um, I think we'll have a good time. I think we will, most definitely. But yeah, but apart from that, there's no other gigs for me until next year, and that's obviously providing we haven't gone into some form of lockdown. They are pushing that we have these vaccines and things like that. I've got my rules on them. I've got my rules and what I think on them. A lot of people sort of look down upon on us, if you like, conspiracy theorists, and say like we're talking a load of crap and a load of wrong. Um, and I don't like to get into them too much in streams and stuff. I don't like getting into political wars, because the way I see it from a conspiracy theorist's point of view, you look like just a complete madman. You're talking at actual bonkers, and you just people who aren't people who aren't conspiracy theorists, if you like. It's so hard to get them to see what you believe in, that it's right. Do you know what I mean? Like it's sort of almost like it does get tied down to a belief. But I've got my thoughts on what I think. And I do personally think we're heading for a lockdown, and all I'm going to say is all those so-called conspiracy theorists who have like predicted stuff, and people have gone, you're talking out your ass. We have no offences, but we have kind of got a few things right. Well, I think we've got most of the things right regarding like lockdowns and things coming in the past and what's going to happen and all this about the jabs and stuff. You know, they're going to be jabbing the kids next, and then they were, and then you know they're not finished. You know, it's not just one jab. And at first we was all told this one jab, and you know it'll fight us from COVID, and then suddenly this other strain comes in, and we need another jab, and then we need boosters. You know, we're not jabbed up enough. And you know, to me, it seems simple that there's something not right about it, but there's so many thousands of people that think it's the best thing to do, it's the right thing to do, and they can't queue up quick enough, you know, to get their next jab. It's like getting the next fix of heroin. Do you know what I mean? You know, and the government's feeding it to you, and like the addicts you are, you know you're taking it, but like I say, I don't like to get into arguments because from my point of view, you know, trying to get someone to believe in what I believe in who doesn't believe in what I believe in is like so hard. I've had many conversations with people, and you know I've said stuff and it just doesn't stick in. You know, where the one's just bonkers, we're making it all up. So it's just best not to try. Um, but besides gigs, I have a new track coming out on Wednesday. So for those of you that follow me from my MCing days, I've teamed up with a good friend of mine called the Jiggerman, and we've done another positive track. We've done another positive reggae tune, and I've got to say, I really love working with the Jiggerman and doing the positive reggae songs. They're like really fun to do, and they are positive as well. And what started off as just a little bit of fun with Good Life turned out so well. And myself and Leighton, who helped me and Jiggerman put the Good Life tune together, we both had inboxes from people saying like how they've felt a little bit down, and then they've listened to that tune, and it actually has made them feel positive, and you know it's made them feel good. And it was supposed to be just a little bit of fun at first because I'd never really spat or put any bars over a reggae track before, and I thought just for a little bit of a laugh, you know, just to try it out, something to do, I thought, you know, I want to do a reggae song, which was when I then linked with Jiggerman to do Good Life, and then we did Feeling So Good, which Feeling So Good, it didn't get as good a response as Good Life. It's not as good as Good Life, but it's still a pretty good positive tune. But we decided to do another track. We've called the track Tunnel, There's Light. And basically, I'm sure you get the concept of the tune. It's a positive tune telling people that whatever you're going through, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And my bars, you know, I come in with bars and they're just positive bars. You know, they're just sort of, my bars are about me sort of reassuring somebody that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And sort of through the track, it's almost like it's almost like I'm giving advice to people, but I'm kind of like telling the story of a person. And as the track progresses, the person has got a little bit sort of more positive, and towards the end of the track, it is almost like she's sort of like found the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's a really nice positive tune. It just gives off good vibes, and they're just fun to make. You know, it's positive. It's just happy. The reggae tunes that you know, like the backing track we use, it's just a positive backing track. Do you know what I mean? So it's just you know, it's really good. It's really fun, and we just enjoy making them. And we've got some other reggae tunes in the pipeline as well. Not all of them are going to be like, when I say positive, like not all of them are going to spread a positive message, but they are still going to be almost like positive and happy. But we are going to, I know we're actually doing a cover of a track, which is supposed to be a little bit of a sort of more like a bit more of a like sad song, but we are sort of like putting a positive twist on it. So you might, you know, you might still listen to it and think, do you know, this is actually quite positive. And then we've got some other good tunes that we've got in the pipeline as well. you know, just about love and stuff. And you know, we've got some sort of like almost like reggae love kind of songs that we're going to be doing as well. And they're going to be they're going to be wicked as well. We've got some ideas and pipelines. Myself and the Layman, myself and Lee, we've got some tracks on the list as well. We've got a Christmas song that we are going to be bringing out. It's not, when I say Christmas song, like the song itself hasn't got anything to do with Christmas, but the song, like the backing tune for the song, just has a real sort of like almost like a Christmassy vibe to it. And it's just a song that we are going to bring out sort of around, you know, near the Christmas time. Just a little something that's going to sound quite good. And we're going out of our comfort zone with this one as well. But it's a little bit of a singing song. Now, myself and Lee, we don't professionally sing. We can't sing. Although I have got to say, Lee has done quite a bit of singing lately as we put ideas down for tracks, and he has got a lot better. But myself, I don't, I mean, the most that I ever sing is in the shower, or, if a song comes on that I like. But, I won't call myself like this great singer, because I'm not. But the idea of the track isn't as such about how well the person's singing in the track. Again, it's just about a happy, positive vibe. It's just about giving it a go. So we've done this track, and I think we're gonna call it. I think we're gonna call it. I'm not sure yet. I think we're either gonna call it Flowers, or I think we're gonna call it I Need You Baby. I'm not sure yet, but we've took an inspired chorus from an old happy hardcore tune from Bang, called Flowers Need the Rain. And the chorus is basically, I need you baby like the flowers need the rain. So we've taken this chorus, and we've sort of put in our own little take on it, and we've sort of inspired this chorus, and we've added some other bits to it, changed a couple of words, and we've sort of put in this sort of like, almost like our own cover of it. But again, it's just a happy little positive tune, that hopefully will just sound good, and it'll just make people happy, because they'll know that the people who have made the track, they're not the best singers in the world, but they've given it a go, and they've just happily sang it. Do you know what I mean? It's quite good. So it's just one of them, give it a go kind of things. So I think you'll like it. And then we have got another tune on the go, which is just a little bit of it's a bit of a more funny song. It's a bit of again, it's just a comedy, sort of giving it a go. But again, I've taken an inspired chorus from a tune that I'd heard, but I didn't know what it was. And I think it's a Club Filler song. And basically the chorus is, I don't know how to make you love me, but I've changed a few words about, and we're gonna sing it in this sort of like high pitched voice. It's gonna be a bit funny, but it might also work as a pretty good track as well. So I'm looking forward to getting that one on the go. And we've got some other stuff in the pipeline, so there'll be some like tracks that will come out next year. Layman Productions 2022. We are only like a matter of about 3 weeks left of this year, so we're coming on to our sort of like final days of this year, which is absolutely crazy to think. It's been a year already, nearly, since I've like fully been working with the Layman Productions, since we've been pushing it. So that's going to be quite good. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, I've been recording some mixes. So I've done a couple of mixes this week. I think earlier this week, like beginning of last week now, I did a little half an hour bounce mix. I was just testing I just recorded I recorded through OBS, because I've got an issue, and my Audacity, for some reason, when I try recording a mix through Audacity, it doesn't seem to work properly, and it's almost like the sound messes up, and it's like one track comes in like really quiet. I think part of it is like an issue on my mixer as well. Um, so I haven't been able to record a mix. I've been trying, and it's like one deck is like the normal volume and it sounds good, and then you'll bring this like other track in, but it'll be like really really low, even though like the actual quality of the track is actually a decent quality. So it's almost like a bit like you've got like a dodgy phono on one side of the phono's like playing up, so you've kind of got like the left side really low, the right side really loud, and it just brings in this like dodgy sound with like a crackling noise for some reason. So I recorded through OBS and I did this half an hour mix. And I thought you could put that straight onto Mixcloud and it'd just take the audio from the video. Um, but little did I know that didn't work. So what I had to do, I had to find a converter to convert a video into an MP3. So I did that, and I did eventually get the mix up. And it did well, you know. A few people shared it, liked it. I wasn't expecting it to like blow up. It was, you know, it was. I just did a bounce mix. It was just of some new bounce tunes that I've been enjoying at the moment. But I enjoyed recording it, so I thought, you know what, I do definitely want to do another one. And then it clicked, and I have a software on my PC called Butt, which I used to use it for internet radio streaming, but you can actually record through it as well. So I thought I'll give that a try, and then that way at least I don't have to convert a video to MP3. And then I'll see like if it's actually Audacity that's playing up, or if there is actual like an internal fault with my mixer. So I recorded through this Butt, and everything just seemed fine. The level was really good. The mixes came in sound, so I was very happy with it. It really made it sound good for me. It was a good mix. So I did that. I didn't have to worry about converting a video to MP3. And I put it up. I believe I put it up yesterday. I think it was yesterday that I recorded it, and it's done quite well. I think it was about 46 minutes long, so it was a bit longer than the half an hour one. But I was just more testing to see if this Butt would work and sound all right. But it was a decent mix, and I put it up anyway. So mixes is definitely something that I'm going to be diving into a little bit more. We're doing some other genres as well, but I definitely want to get some more mixes out there on my Mixcloud, and I am going to be updating that a lot going forward as well. I've got to change the cover pictures and the profile pictures, and the name of it still says MC Noble. Not that I'm wiping out my MCing days as such, but I am taking my DJing a bit more further than the MCing. So obviously I just want to keep boosting that, and I enjoy getting a good recording done. So that was quite good. One of the main reasons why I also recorded the set as well is there's a new tune that's just come out on Bounce Heaven. It came out last Monday, and for some reason it's just I've fallen in love with it, and I don't really know what's made me fall in love with it, because it's one of them tunes that at first I thought I don't really like this, because it's a weird one for me. I've got a real sort of like there's like a certain thing I don't like within tracks, and I hate tunes. I hate it when somebody takes a classic song and they do a mashup, but they put like a modern vocal over it. So like, say they take like a chart tune, say from now, they take a chart tune and they mash it up with like an old like piano house tune, or like an old trance tune. For example, there's a guy in the charts. He did a tune. I think it's called "Feel My Lovin'." And it's got the ATB 9 p.m. till I come riff in the track, and it really put me off. It put me off the tune. However, this tune that come out on Bounce Heaven, it was a remix of Get the Core Passion, and it's got this vocal over it, and it sounds like a little bit of a modern vocal, or it could go back a while. I don't really know. I've never heard the vocal before. It's a weird vocal. I've never heard it before, but it's really good. It's really catchy, and believe it or not, it does actually fit with the Passion song. And these people that have done this like bounce remix of it, I don't know what they've done, but they've just done a really good job on it, and I've just fallen in love with it. So I listened to it, and I thought, this sounds weird, but it actually sounds okay. So I waited for my payday. There was another tune that I wanted as well. It was a remix of "I'm Your Baby Tonight." So I thought, well, you know what? When I get paid, I'm actually gonna buy these tunes because I'm part. I support the scene as well, and sometimes it's good just to buy a couple of new songs. If you're doing a recording, so you've got some different stuff to drop in as well. So I bought the tunes anyway. So I obviously was able to hear the full version of the song and not just the sample, the radio edit, if you like, that you hear on SoundCloud or whatever, or the preview you can get on the website before you buy it. So, so obviously, I was able to hear the full track, and like I say, I don't know what it was, I don't know what caused it, but there was literally something that just made me fall in love with this tune. And the vocal, just like I say, it sounds really good. It's really catchy, and they've just done something really, really well with this tune. And they've called the track "My Passion," and I just honestly, like I say, I don't know what they've done, but they've just done something really good with this tune, and the whole concept of it actually works. And I've never heard anyone remix Passion before, or at least if I have, not for a lot of years, and never like a bounce version. I think I've heard like B-side mixes from vinyls and stuff from back then. Obviously, there was the Passion "Do You Want It Right Now" that was done back in the day. There was a mashup of Passion with a CC Rogers vocal. That I love that version. It's one of my favourite versions. Sadly, you just can't find a decent digital quality of it. I have got a digital version, but it's not the best. And the thing that always annoyed me about the Passion tune was it actually starts on, it almost like starts on strings. Um, it just, it almost starts like on strings, almost like stroke a piano. Um, and it just, it was a bit of annoying to sometimes mix in. So it was one of them, you could start a set with it, and it was the same, So finding this bounce one was actually really good, but they've just done a good job on it. And for whatever reason, I've just fallen in love. I think it's just the quality of the tune, but I really have fallen to like this song. So I wanted to record this mix just to put these two new tracks in because they're actually both quite banging. But like I say, for me, Bound Seven at the moment, they are bringing out some banging remixes, and there's still some on the store that I actually want as well. Ones that I still need to purchase that. I will get at some point. Someone did a Sweet Child of Mine, and it sounds really good. There's some other remixes as well that just sound really good. So I can't wait to dive my hands into some more banging tunes. I really can't. But I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I need to report on. Well, not need to report, but is there anything else that I needed to say? Um, I don't think so because I did give some updates in the last stream as well. But it was mainly about this tunnel track coming out. It was mainly about the mixes. So if you want to listen to them, by the way, they're on my Mixcloud. I'm MC Noble on there still, but I will be changing to DJ Ash Noble before you know it. But yeah, I've done some good mixes on there. There's two bounce mixes. Well, there's actually three bounce mixes on there because I did a bounce to your drop promo when I first got asked to play at the first event, um, which was good. And other than that, like I say, I've just not really got much else to report on. Like I say, the stomping is like the main one. That's next weekend. Hopefully, all being well. Fingers crossed. I think regards to that, Boris, I believe, is making another announcement on Wednesday. So I reckon the announcement might not be good news, but all we can do is just wait and see. But what I don't get, like, what annoys me about Boris is like I don't know, like on Wednesday he might make this like sort of like bad announcement, but he must have an idea now that on Wednesday he's probably gonna make like a bad announcement, maybe regarding a lockdown or something. So I'm thinking like, why not just do it today? And he'll always say like that, lockdown starts, from Thursday, but it's so bad. Like, why do we have to hang on until Thursday? Do you know what I mean? Which is what I really don't understand. I mean, I guess it's just like preparing the businesses and things to close and stuff. But I just think we've been going through this COVID now for nearly 2 years. So I think if there's bad news now, just get on and say it. There's no point leave it leading us with like false hope. Like if he's just gonna lock us down in a week or so's time, in my opinion, I don't want to be locked down, but in my opinion, like, just get it over and done with. Like, if he knows himself that within a week, he's gonna more than likely lock us down, he may as well just lock us down. Like, there's no point like giving us that false hope that there's we're getting serious, but there's no need for a lockdown yet. Do you know what I mean? But surely, like, the sooner we lock down, like, if there is such a thing as this, if this virus is, let's say, as bad as they say it is, then isn't it best to like lock down as quick as we can and almost like fight and stop the spread? Do you know what I mean? Like, because surely the more we wait, the worse it's going to get. But maybe that's what they want. So when they do lock us down, it's like they've got, like almost like a reason of locking us down. Like, it is bad. It's a lot worse than it was last week. Do you know what I mean? And I think in my eyes, I think it's all part of the trick. It's all part of the game. But we'll find out. All being well, hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll smash this gig. I do think personally there's going to be some bad news on Wednesday, but I'm not certain it's going to be a lockdown because they want to, they want to boost these other jabs out. And if people are locked down, they'll think, well, why do I need it? Because I'm not going anywhere, kind of thing. I'm not coming into contact with people because we're locked down. So I think if he can just sort of like try and push these vaccines as much as he can, he'll do that instead of locking us down. Plus, if he does lock us down, there's going to be a hell of a lot more people kicking off, as opposed to the previous times that he has locked us down. So I don't think he wants to do that yet, but I do believe that will come sometime, maybe before or just after Christmas, maybe. But we'll see. All we can do is see. All we can do is just stay hopeful. If we do go into a lockdown, don't worry. I'm going to be keeping very productive and positive. I'll be getting a lot of tracks and I'll be getting a lot of material out. I'll be recording a lot of mixes. I'll be doing a lot more production stuff as well. Biding the time to get myself ready for when we do come back out of that lockdown, if we go into one, and ready to get back into our nightclubs and some new tunes to bang out in the clubs and stuff. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that if we do get locked down. But obviously I would rather we wasn't locked down, but we'll just have to see. So anyway, people, make sure to like, make sure to comment, subscribe, share, all the rest of it. I need to go because I've realised I've forgotten to do something. I've literally just not long since come back from a friend's house, and they always say text me when you get home and make sure you've got home all right. Because obviously, you know, I leave theirs quite late. I get a bus home, and because I leave quite late, I actually miss the bus that stops like near my house. Because basically, I live up the road from the main bus station and the main like interchange, and I like when I go down, I get on a number two. There's a number two, and it literally comes near the top of my road. And if I get the number two back, it'll come near the top of my road. However, you know, I can get another bus that goes a little bit of a longer way, but it also doesn't come as far as my house. It stops at the station, so I have about a 5-10 minute walk to walk back. It's not bad. Like I don't mind walking it. I quite enjoy it. But like on a Sunday, them buses that go right near my house, they actually stop quite early. So and sometimes like I don't always go to theirs till like late afternoon because I don't always rush up on a Sunday. Well, I don't always rush up any day, but on a Sunday I do like to have a bit of a lie-in and stuff. And sometimes they've been away at the caravan, so I don't go till like maybe 3-4 in the afternoon, and then it's like by 6:30 that last sort of number two is coming to the end, but the number five stays on till just after 11. So sometimes I think I don't mind the walk. It's a 10 minute walk. I enjoy walking sometimes, and I just think for so I can at least stay there a little bit longer, and it's just chilled in there as well. They have the heating on and it just gets chilled and comfy. And I just we get talking about music and other different things, and before you know it, a couple of hours have passed, and you're looking at the time, and you've been there maybe 3 or 4 hours, but it only feels like you've been there 5 minutes, and that there's a bus due to come, and you think, oh, I'll get the next one, and then before you know it, another hour's passed, and then it just comes to the end where I think, what, I'll just get that last bus, and I'll walk it. And it's sometimes it's not really that big of a deal. So I'd literally just got back, but they normally say like just drop us a message, let me know you got back all right, and I didn't. I came in and I just completely forgot. So but anyway, like I say, make sure to like, make sure to comment, subscribe, share, all the rest of that good stuff, and we'll see you next time, people.